Hey everyone, and welcome to Almost Cancelled. I'm Peter, that is Connor, and this is our weekly TV news show where we talk about renewals, cancellations, pilot orders, series orders, casting, and other such TV nonsense that happens on a fairly weekly basis. So that's what we're going to do. We have a reasonably packed news show for you this week.
Oh, and it's actually been weekly for a couple of weeks as well.
It has been. In fact, I'm going to start the show this week by telling you I was watching a movie last night on stream with some fine folk on YouTube. We watched a German film called Der Nachtmare, or The Nightmare, if you want to translate it. And it had like this little alien demon thing in it. And for some reason, the chat started calling it Connor pretty quickly early on in the movie. So for the rest of the movie, we kept referring to it as Connor. So whenever it did something nasty or we're joking about the teenage girl like falling in love with it, it was, people in the chat were saying things like don't kiss Connor and things like that. It was quite amusing. I thought you'd like to know.
Fair enough.
Hey, a couple of weeks ago there was a movie where there was a guy who looked like Tim, so there was a lot of Tim jokes in that one. So you're not the only one targeted. Although
that's fine.
He got a guy with similar hair. You got this weird alien demon baby thing.
I've had worse.
Oh, I bet you have. So, TV news, we'll get cracking in. First thing, surprising absolutely no one, Stranger Things has been renewed officially for a fourth season. There was a small announcement video also teasing the fact that season 4 might be leaving Hawkins and going elsewhere, which would make me think they're going on a trip. Maybe to where Eleven lives now.
I was going to say, it kind of set that up nicely. Honestly, the most surprising thing about this is that I thought it had been renewed already.
Yeah. I'm still wondering if it's going to end up in a Christmas season. Like maybe they'll get together for Christmas somewhere.
You're determined to have a Christmas season.
The timing lines up for next year. Unless they take like 2 years to make it again, which they might.
Yeah, I was going to say, don't hold your breath.
But season 1 to 2 was about that time, so I could see it.
Yeah, sure.
I could see it. And plus, they seem to like releasing it on holidays. Season 2 was Halloween, season 3 was July 4th. So,
yeah,
why not Christmas? Anyway, so that's basically the news. It's a coming. It's a coming. Not that we're surprised, but it's good news all the same. And speaking of Netflix renewing things, and just funny because a couple of weeks ago we got 2 shows with the exact same headline, but renewed for a 4th and final season is Dear White People.
Yeah, fair enough.
So that's good. It was a good show. Obviously, I've heard season 3 wasn't as good. We stopped reviewing it due to just low numbers. No one seemed to care about us reviewing it anymore, barring like 6 of you. So we stopped.
Probably why it's got to a final season now.
Probably, yeah. The interest online certainly diminished, and we saw that season to season even on our own numbers.
I have to wonder how much was the controversy just around the title, that drove a lot of traffic towards it.
In terms of discussion in season 1, sure.
Yeah.
But yeah. So again, it's good that they're getting a final season. It's good that the writers know going in that this is their last outing, so they can give it an ending, give the characters a proper send off, all the things you want from a TV show. So it's nice that this and Glow and 3% are all getting that treatment. They're all so 4's their new weird kind of like round number.
It's their new 3.
No, the shows that get 3 seasons get cancelled at the end of 3 with no ending.
Dark didn't.
It's a foreign show. That's non-canon.
Not canon. That's your excuse.
Not canon. There's a release date for M. Night Shyamalan's Apple TV show, along with a really cryptic teaser trailer, which I did watch just quickly. I didn't make you watch it because there's really nothing in it. It's just a baby against the white background and a couple of bits of text coming up. It's called Servant, and it's launching on November 28th. Keeping in mind that the service launches on November 1st, so it's not a launch show, but it's within a month
window.
Yeah, it's within a month of it launching.
Basically,
so.
This is all you people who signed up for your first month for all these new shows. We want you to stay subscribed for a second month.
Yes. So the cast here, we got Lauren Ambrose, Toby Kebbell, that's Victor Von Doom, in case you weren't sure about who Toby Kebbell was, Nell Tiger Free, who was in Too Old to Die Young, which is cool, and your cousin Rupert Grint, so they're all going to be in Servant. So the series is produced and directed by Shyamalan. It follows a Philadelphia couple in mourning after an unspeakable tragedy creates a rift in their marriage and opens the door for a mysterious force to enter their home. Presumably their child, their baby, is going to get snuffed, is my guess, based on the baby in the teaser trailer.
Oh, you put that so delicately.
But it's called Servant. So it's launching November 28th.
It's a horror show.
I think it's like it says a mysterious force enters the home, so I think it's going to be like a supernatural, sort of either mild horror, mild sci-fi kind of thriller.
Yeah.
You know, Shyamalan's kind of forte, to be honest.
Yeah.
Which I'm down for. If it's in the good Shyamalan stuff, and he's never. Well, he did do a TV show. He did that one that was that town. I can't remember what it was called. It wasn't good, admittedly, but it was on like, was it USA? Was it sci-fi?
Can't seem familiar with whatever this is. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to remember what it was. I think it was before you started reviewing stuff.
What was it called?
I can't remember. It's too long ago.
Okay, fine.
But yeah, it was like a weird town that no one could leave, and it was like a mystery as to what was going on and who was in control and whatnot. That was a thing. Anyway, so that's coming November 28th. It's called Servant, so you can set your calendars. We also got a release date for the Harley Quinn animated show on DC Universe, which is coming a day later on November 29th. So,
you know which one I'm more excited for?
Yeah, I will try one and not the other, probably. So
yeah, me too.
What are you talking about? You're going to be reviewing the Shyamalan one.
Don't worry about that in November.
You'll be trying it.
Uh-huh.
It's part of the job description. You don't get to be flippant about it. Disney has imposed a ban on Netflix advertising across all of its networks. This is a new thing they've just announced today. Is that on ABC, FX, Freeform, and ESPN, all of those, which used to have ads for Netflix shows, you know, if Netflix were paying for them, now Netflix are not allowed to buy ad time on those channels.
It's interesting. The article I read earlier excluded ESPN for whatever reason. Like they explicitly said ESPN was not part of this. So conflicting reports at least.
Let me just read this. No, I think you may be right actually. No, I think it was just listing all the networks they own. It was like a separate list.
So I think the only ones I saw were ABC and Freeform.
No, FX are included in this.
Oh, are they? Okay.
So, which is pretty big. Like FX and ABC are the two biggest, really.
Yeah, although honestly, this is weirdly not that big a deal because I'm just not surprised. Why would they want to market a rival competitor?
Because bizarrely, that's been the norm. It's been the norm for a long time, and even the idea of like promoting like TV shows on other networks when it makes like no sense to do so for the people who are like own that network, they still do it.
Yeah, because but that's the thing. The other networks, they're like, well, they're paying us, and we need the money. Disney don't need the money; they can get it from elsewhere. They can just print their own.
I mean, there's truth in that, but it's still the normal. It's always been the normal. Yeah. So this actually comes off as, I don't want to say petty, because it's not petty per se, because there's a logic to it. But at the same time, because they're the first ones to really do it and say, no, we're not going to advertise our competitors, it does feel a little bit like, oh, you think you're too big.
I get why people think that. I don't know. It makes sense to. I honestly, I think more people would do it if they could afford to. If they could afford to turn down paying advertisers, they would. They definitely would.
Disney's too big. They need to crumble. Need a big loss.
I mean, I don't disagree with that.
They need something to fail miserably.
Yeah.
Maybe that next Star Wars movie.
Oh, that's not failing.
Do you think it does better or worse than Last Jedi, though? That's a question.
Honestly, there's an interesting thing where it could go either way, where you could get the people who dislike Last Jedi go, screw you, Disney, I'm not watching it. But you could get people go, well, it's back to Abrams, they'll market it, it's the end of the story, will turn out more. I could honestly see it going in either direction, and it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
And I know that was a really non-answer hedging my bets, but it's just logically I can see it going either way.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see it being up a bit just because it's the final one of the trilogy and yada yada yada. But I mean,
because their marketing is the end of the saga, so the end of the whole like 9 movie saga as their call in the trailers. That's how they're referring to it as. So I can see that playing well for a lot of people.
But the last movie, Solo, was legitimately a underperforming film. It was,
It was, yeah.
spectacularly low for a Star Wars movie.
Yeah, definitely.
And it helps me sleep at night, quite frankly. So, here's a bit of funny news. So you remember Snowpiercer, the TV show, which is coming? It's finally coming in 2020.
Is it though?
It's coming in spring 2020. Remember the Virgin renewed for season 2. Jennifer Connelly's in it. It's the whole thing. There's been a trailer, which we talked about a while ago. But here's the
it was a trailer.
It was a trailer, yes.
I genuinely just thought this was one of those things that didn't really exist, but there was a trailer.
So here's the news. So you remember it was on TNT, and then they made a big hubbub about moving it to TBS because they're both owned by Warner, of course.
Yeah.
And TBS, they've been traditionally been more of a comedy network, but they're kind of pushing to be more drama, and they want TNT to be other things. It's moved back to TNT. It's airing in TNT in spring 2020.
Did they go, hey, if TBS is known for comedies, maybe we should just lean into that and make that the comedy one? Rather than try and rebrand?
Well, probably not, because it does actually add a little note here on at the end of this, that TBS this afternoon, although I didn't actually find this when I was looking for links, to be honest, bizarrely, but they announced a straight-to-series order for a one-hour drama, an action drama called Obliterate.
Did they say anything about that while we're here?
I'll click in. They've got a link here.
Oh, look at them, hyperlinking themselves.
I know, handy. Oh, maybe I did find this later. I seem to remember the creators of Cobra Kai in an article from later. Let's see, I'll do it now, just since we're here, and we'll blur it up. So, straight to series order for Obliterated, 10-episode, 1-hour action drama from Cobra Kai creators John Hurwitz, Hayden Schlossberg, what a name, and Josh Held. Josh Held what? What's he got in his hands?
I'm fairly certain you've made that exact joke like 3 times before.
What's he got in his hands? So it's picking up stuff. Written and executive produced by Hurwitz, Schlossberg, and Held. Obliterated is a serialized action dramedy focused on an elite special forces team tracking a deadly terrorist network hell-bent on blowing up Las Vegas. After the raging end of mission party filled with alcohol and drug-fueled debauchery, the team discovers the bomb they deactivated was a decoy. With the clock ticking, the intoxicated team has to fight through their impairments, overcome their personal issues, and deactivate the bomb and save the world.
Was that personal and professional? Overcome their personal... What was the line?
No, it was impairments. It was basically...
No, but after impairments...
Oh, personal issues. Yeah, kind of. It was borderline. So it's more of an action. So it's more of an action comedy. Oh dear, DEFCON 1.
Sorry, everyone. I found it.
DEFCON 1.
I found it amongst the 20 other bottles.
Bloody hell! All right, so that's that.
I will say on that though, action dramedy. So that does still lean into the comedy angle a little bit more than Snowpiercer does.
That's true. That's true.
So yeah, but I mean that sounds like it could be fun.
Yeah. Next up, Winston Duke, who was in Us and Black Panther, is going to start as in the lead role of Swagger, Apple's new basketball-themed drama from NBA superstar Kevin Durant. So, yeah, so we already knew about this show, but this is kind of the big casting for it. He was the husband in Us for anyone who's trying to place the face. So, yeah, there you go. So just to remind you what this says, Swagger is inspired by Durant's youth basketball experiences. It explores the world of youth basketball and the players, their families, and coaches who walk the fine line between the dreams and ambition and the opportunism, and corruption. So
yeah, I remember this. I remember not being that interested because it's it's a basketball show and I'm not interested, but it doesn't sound bad necessarily.
Next up, James Wan has become attached to the adaptation of Gideon Falls, which we already knew about, but he is now on board. So Havanese company Atomic Monster Productions are teaming with Hivemind on the upcoming comic book adaptation. Image Comics, of course, Jeff Lemire and Andrea Sorrentino are the creators. So, yeah, he's going to executive produce. and it doesn't say that he's going to do anything else as of yet. But I mean, they could always announce he's going to direct a pilot or something later.
I would expect that a bit closer to
Yeah.
it. I mean,
he's a bit busy to do like more than just a pilot, but I could see him doing the pilot maybe.
yeah, it's not uncommon to get just a guest director, big name, just to launch it, set a style.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm looking forward to the show still because I'm a fan of the comic.
I also am a fan of the comic. I will say that James Wan has executive produced things before that have been absolute garbage and feel nothing like James Wan things. So it's not really a reason to be excited.
No, I'm more just excited. This doesn't make me any more excited than I already was. It's not. This news has kind of no impact other than, oh, okay, I suppose there's some money involved now.
If anything, because he's executive producing and not directing, as far as we know so far, the track record actually implies that it's probably good to have lesser expectations.
Don't ruin this for me.
I mean, he did executive produce Swamp Thing, if I recall correctly.
Oh, shit, he did.
All right, we're at some shows, some new shows, orders, developments, things like that. Creators of Big Mouth have set their next series at Netflix. The Internet TV network has ordered, that's a weird way to phrase Netflix deadline, what are you doing? Have ordered Human Resources, an animated workplace comedy from Big Mouth creators Nick Kroll, Andrew Goldberg, Mark Levin, and Jennifer Flackett. So that is a animated Netflix comedy. No details about the storyline were released other than the series is a workplace comedy set in the world of monsters from Big Mouth. So there you go. Although a preview clip was unveiled with only the title Human Resources. We manage people. Just Human Resources. We manage people is their slogan for the company.
Oh, okay. I mean, I never saw Big Mouth, so
yeah,
I have nothing to go on here.
Yeah, but hey, so Netflix adding more content to their lineup as they do. And then we go into some just straight up comedies. And speaking of Netflix, they've given a 6-episode order to the Eliza Schlesinger sketch show, which is the name of the show. A half-hour sketch comedy coming from the comedian. Will shoot in New York in the fall for a 2020 launch. So not a whole lot to say, because it's a sketch show. It's not like there's a premise that we can...
Yeah, I'm not really a big fan of sketch shows in general, personally.
I'm not typically. There's the odd one that kind of breaks through.
The thing is, there's the odd sketch I like, but rarely a sketch show.
Okay. ABC has given a pilot commitment to Cupcake Men, a comedy from writer Owen Smith, who worked on Blackish, Empire's Lee Daniels, and Good Morning America co-host and former NFL star Michael Strahan. I'm glad it told me that because I wouldn't have known who that was otherwise.
Me either.
So Cupcake Men is inspired by the real-life story of former Tennessee Titans Brian Orakpo and Michael Griffin, who, along with their childhood friend Brian Hinson, opened a cupcake shop in Austin, Texas, most notably featured in the 2019 Microsoft Surface Pro commercial. Okay, what a weird detail.
That is such an odd claim to fame.
And there's a link to the video at the bottom of the article as well. They've done the work here. Oh dear. So, having led his entire life in the shadows of his recently retired NFL player brothers Mo and Quo, what a pair. Eldest brother and owner of Austin's most popular cupcake food truck, AJ Perry, is anxious to finally take his mantle to most accomplished son by opening his first brick and mortar store. However, when three brothers shockingly discover they all own a stake in the business, they must learn to work together despite their clashing approaches on how to run a business and tricky sibling dynamics. That's professional and personal.
Question, yeah, okay, that's confirmed. Second question. How many cupcake vending, whatever it was, vans are there in Austin, Texas that this is the best one?
Everything's bigger in Texas, including the people. You need cupcakes to fuel that.
I can't picture Texans going, yeah, cupcakes. That's what we want. We don't want taco stands. We don't want barbecue, whatever you got going on. We want cupcakes.
Who doesn't like cupcakes? That's nice.
I mean, that's fine, but you have one, and then all right, I'm done now. I don't want to go to somewhere to buy just cupcakes. It's something I might buy if I'm out and okay, there's cupcakes there, sure.
If it's a really nice cupcake, like a sort of a nice, sort of slightly expensive premium cupcake with a good topping, and like just like a shitty thing you get in a 6-pack at the supermarket, like a proper like baker's cupcake.
No, see, that's the thing. I can see. Oh, I'm at the baker's. Oh, sure, they've got cupcakes. I'll have one. But going to a food truck that's just cupcakes, that's surreal. That's like next level.
I mean, sure. Oh, he's drinking for the personal and professional lives.
Yeah. I was having my rant first.
Yeah, to get his rant out first.
No, I didn't forget.
All right. I mean, a cupcake comedy could be fine. Like, sure, it's a workplace comedy, essentially.
Isn't that what Two Broke Girls was? Didn't they want to do cupcakes?
Yeah, but that's like a 0 out of 10, so this show can only be better.
It's true. I'm just saying. I'm pretty sure that was cupcake related.
No, I think it was just a regular restaurant. I'm sure. I saw the pilot of that show. I'm sure they were serving just regular.
Yeah. No, I think they worked in a regular restaurant, but they wanted to open a cupcake business, didn't they?
Well, you know more about it than I do.
I'm sure that was the whole thing.
I did not realize you were such a big fan of Two Broke Girls. Forgive me.
I've seen like 2 episodes, but the whole thing was they had a meter of how much money they made, and they were going to open cupcake business.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure it was cupcakes.
Next up, ABC is given a script commitment with penalty to This Is Not. I feel like every single script or pilot thing we get now are all like with penalties. Like there's never just we've ordered a pilot. It's always with penalty.
The agents are getting better.
I guess, yeah. It's called This Is Not a Drill, a comedy from Tad Quill, from Moody Christmas. I don't know what that is. Doug Robinson from The Goldbergs. I don't know what that is. Not watched it. I know Matt likes it. Maybe I'll binge it at some point. Written by Quill, This Is Not a Drill is about a group of friends in Hawaii who, when they think they're about to die in a missile attack, blow up their lives for the better. Okay, I get it. So the pilot's going to be them doing all this crazy shit because they think that they don't have to deal with the repercussions, and then they don't die. I
feel like this is the same thing we had 2 shows of on CW in the past few years.
No, this feels different to me because I think this is going to be over. Like the end of the first episode, the crisis is over, and it's like, we didn't actually die, but we screwed up everything by doing all this stuff. I think that's just the setup, so that shit, we've ruined all of our marriages and we've ruined our employment and whatever. Like, okay. I think that's what this is doing. Whereas that those shows you're bringing up were like, no, the entire season's about the 6 months before this might happen, and it's just them living life to the fullest.
Yeah, no, that's true.
So that's what I'm getting from it. You could say they mess up both their professional and personal lives.
You could, but the key important thing here is they didn't.
Again with ABC's ordering a lot of comedies apparently. Damon Wayans is returning to a multi-camera comedy with his new project at ABC, where he used to headline, of course, My Wife and Kids, which you might remember from his like late 30s and early 40s, where now he's in his mid 50s. So yeah, he's retired with My Wife and Kids co-creator Don Rio for on a new family comedy. It's called Let's Stay Together, which is a working title they've pointed out. But I appreciate they get, because sometimes they'll say Damon Wayans project untitled and then in brackets working title, the working title. I'm like, no, just give me the working title and let me know it's a working title.
It's fine, yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, it's got a script commitment plus penalty.
Of course it does.
So according to sources, Let's Stay Together is being pitched as a family comedy for a new kind of family. It will star Wayans as a single father who finds out it's hard to get rid of millennial kids and their kids. The sitcom reportedly features a storyline that mirrors Wayne's own life. So it's like, lol, or my 30-year-old kid can't afford to live anywhere because the economy and the housing market's in the gutter because my stupid generation screwed it all up. That's the setup.
I think I just need to drink for that.
Okay, I need to go.
Because that's just tragic and true.
It's true. Oh dear. So there you go.
Damn economy.
Let's Stay Together. So it's not him and his wife staying together, it's him and his kids.
Yeah.
So there you go. Before I move on to the dramas here, I will take this moment to tell you all about patreon.com/MailFuzzTV, where you can support everything we do. If you like the content we do, you like this news, you like the TV reviews, you like the movie podcasts, you can go over to Patreon and you can support us for as little as $1 per month to keep all the content coming, keep us expanding, and get some bonus features for your troubles. Or you can go over there, you get bonus content, you get stuff just for $1 per month. You get bonus episodes of some of the movie podcasts, you get outtakes of shows where we tangent too much, so you get the tangents on their own, called Bonus Bits, and it'll be an exclusive already cancelled. It's going to be audio only starting in November. So, those are all things that you get at the $1 tier. And of course, there's more at the $5 tier and up. But go and have a look and see if you want to do that. But anyway, next up, we have the first big thing, or the only big thing of the week, really, is Ava DuVernay is going to launch a project based on a DC Comics property, although Vertigo might be the better descriptor here, which is DMZ.
Ah, okay.
Which I've never read. I've heard of it, of course.
Very well regarded.
It is well regarded, yeah. It's got the big deluxe editions and all that, yeah, so it's the thing. So this is HBO Max that this is happening at. And she is going to be getting behind the camera for the pilot, which has been ordered. And, of course, she's also doing the New Gods movie, if it ever happens, although they're claiming it is.
It's still early enough days that I haven't settled into the disbelief on that one yet.
Yeah. It's just DC have announced so many movies that have just went nowhere. But
yeah.
Adapted from the Brian Wood written comic published by Vertigo imprint, the pilot imagines as the Second American Civil War in the near future. DuVernay will direct the project with showrunner and EP Roberto Patino writing. So she's not showrunning this show, she's come in to direct the pilot, by the sounds of it, and possibly maybe executive producing, as often happens.
It's better than nothing.
Yeah. So, yeah. Yeah, like I say, I've not read it. Brian Wood, I've liked his Alien comics. I've not really liked his superhero work. But given that this is not a superhero thing and it's his own thing,
unfortunately, he's a kind of shitty dude who's basically been dropped from every publisher now.
Mm-hmm.
So don't expect to read much more of his stuff in the future because no one wants to publish it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I'm a little bit surprised that this is going ahead right now as it is. But I mean, like I said, DMZ is a very well-regarded piece of work. I never read it, but I mean, it's an interesting enough concept. So
yeah, no, I mean, I feel like at this point it's just a property, and DC own it, and they're farming it out for adaptation. Because
it's one of those with Vertigo. You're never sure until like one of these deals just suddenly happens. Who exactly has how much ownership on it? Because Vertigo, it's very dependent on the creator. And the property as to who owns how much. So I guess Warner just own all of this one.
Yeah, very possibly. So next up, Madefire Studios, which is a new studio, has acquired the content rights, which is a weird way of phrasing it, actually. The content rights.
Madefire is a comic book company as well. So I wonder if it's a branch of that.
To a dystopian sci-fi epic called Treatment. Which was created by Dave Gibbons, who of course is the co-creator of Watchmen. He was the artist on Watchmen.
Yeah.
So, So Treatment evokes the jarring imagery and legacy of both Cops, the reality crime show, and The Running Man. That would be the Stephen King book / movie starring Arnold Schwarzenegger. By presenting a dystopian near future where a global audience of have-nots tune in to watch the powerfully popular franchise that deputizes a collective of former cops, sports stars, former soldiers, and celebrities, every step of the... And celebrities every stripe. Of every stripe, that's probably supposed to be. Sorry. There's just a random F on its own in this sentence. And celebrities of every stripe to hunt down suspected criminals and fugitives in a bloody chase streamed live to the world.
This sounds fantastic. I need it.
So no idea where this will end up. This is just a production studio, so it could end up anywhere, but
yeah,
it does seem like the perfect thing to end up in something like HBO Max or Prime or whatever.
Pick your streaming service.
Yeah. I'm down for it. Next up, AMC have given a green light to a courtroom drama, a thriller called 61st Street.
Wait. AMC are still doing things that aren't zombie related?
There's two shows in this article.
Oh, I'm shocked.
In fact, that first one is executive produced by Michael B. Jordan.
Okay.
And then we have Kevin Can F himself.
I can
from
get
creator
behind that.
Valerie Armstrong, who worked on 49 Lodge, or sorry, Lodge 49. I mean to say. Um, so 61st Street is envisioned as a 2-season close-ended event, so kind of a miniseries, but a 2-season miniseries.
It's 20 episodes, isn't it?
Yeah, two-season order from the outset. So yeah, they were developed under the AMC's script to series model, which employs the opening of a writer's rooms to develop and produce multiple scripts for a potential series, which in success leads to a straight to series order. So it means that theoretically most of the shows are already written.
I mean,
Already.
it makes it easier to just, right, let's go.
Yeah, they've been in the works for a while. There's a lot of text in this one. I'm just finding the description. Here we go. 61st Street follows Moses Johnson, a promising black high school athlete who is swept up into an infamously corrupt Chicago criminal justice system. Taken by the police as a supposed gang member, he finds himself in the eye of the storm as police and prosecutors seek revenge for the death of an officer during a drug bust gone wrong. Timely and provocative, 61st Street is set against a systematic abuse that's happening to some of our country's most vulnerable communities. So, yeah, it's sort of very serious drama there. Yeah. I mean, maybe this is the sort of thing AMC should be trying to maybe counterbalance the zombie nonsense that they've got going, because they're going to have three. They're going to have 3 Walking Dead shows on there.
Give it a year, and they'll have year-round zombies.
Yeah, pretty much. So yeah, they're going for the serious drama here, which is cool. And I don't really know the people behind it, except for Michael B. Jordan, obviously.
Yeah.
So hopefully it translates to something good. AMC can be very kind of in the middle when it comes to quality. Obviously, they have some standouts that are like, immaculate, but
they have some of the best shows of all time.
Yes, but they also have things like The Sun, and
they have a show that feels like an AMC show.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a worry every time an AMC show is announced that I just go, yeah, but is it just going to be another AMC?
And the
show,
description
no matter
of
what it sounds.
And the description of 61st Street really sounds like it deserves better treatment than
it does
your typical AMC show. So hopefully it gets that. Then Kevin Kneff himself probes the secret life of a type of woman we all grew up believing we knew, the sitcom wife. This is going places. I've not read this yet. I'm curious where this is going. Yeah. It looks to break television convention and ask what the world looks like through her eyes. Alternating between single-camera realism and multi-camera comedy, the formats will inform one another as we imagine what happens when the sitcom wife escapes her confines and is full of rage. This sounds freaking amazing.
This is meta as shit. I love it. Also, does not sound like an AMC stereotype show.
It doesn't. No, it sounds really unique and really inventive. A sitcom wife realizes she's a sitcom wife, and we switch to single camera for those sort of like self-aware moments. That's really brilliant.
Interesting. Please tell me they have a laugh track on the multi-camera bits.
It doesn't.
I think it won't mention that, but I think it's funnier if they do.
It probably will. The single camera series incorporates a show. What is with the typos today, Deadline? That is meant to be show within the show, but it says show whining the show. The show within the show.
That one.
A multi-camera sitcom which will be shot traditional with 3 cameras. Yeah, so that'll probably have a laugh track, and then when it comes out of the multi-camera,
they'll edit it in. Yeah,
I'm intrigued. Kevin Kneff himself. I assume that's the sitcom husband. That'll be my guess.
Yeah, definitely. But I'm down to seeing this one.
Yeah, that's a good description.
That's the highlight of this show so far.
Next up, Shadowhunters producers Don Carmody and David Cormacan will adapt New York Times #1 best-selling House of Night series, the young adult vampire saga. The young adult vampire saga, written by the mother-daughter team of PC Cast and Kristen Cast for television.
I'm familiar with these books.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
There we go. Story is set in a world where vampires, spelled with a Y, vampires.
Yeah.
Just like the book and the hit television show Buffy the Vampire Slayer. It's so easy. They give me vampires.
Don't know.
Oh dear. So, yeah, story is set in a world of vampires, where vampires coexist openly with humanity, but remain feared and widely misunderstood figures. The action follows Zoe Redbird. That is such a character name.
It is.
Who's 16, a human student who has been selected to enroll in the House of Night Academy, a finishing school that will prepare her for the shift to unlife as a full vampire. This is such a you can just see how Twilight and Harry Potter are meshing together for this.
Yeah, pretty much. It is basically exactly what it sounds like.
And there's 10 books in this series.
Is there that many? Jesus.
Well, there's an image of spines here on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12, sorry, there's 12.
Whew, they pump those out.
They do. Yeah, I can't say I'm into it. I mean, I'm always thankful for some vampire news just so I can drop my references, but I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good.
I get that.
Oh, dear. I watched an excellent movie this week called The Transfiguration, which is a vampire. It was about a teenager who thinks he's a vampire, and he watches a lot of vampire movies. It was a really good movie, actually. I highly recommend it.
I want to ask, is he a vampire? But I feel like that's a huge spoiler.
Yes, that would be a spoiler. But he watches a lot of vampire movies, and he basically, I was watching this with chat on a stream, and Tyler was giving me shit because he had a copy of The Lost Boys clearly on his shelf, and it was like, oh, I don't see it in Near Dark. But later on, he mentioned Near Dark. He mentions Let the Right One In. He mentions all the good vampire movies when the other character was a Twilight fan. It's really funny.
Do you know, on my letterbox, obviously, it's October, so people are watching horror movies.
Mm-hmm.
Someone who I follow posted a review of Near Dark, and they only gave it 2 stars and a 1-word review that said "oof," and I was like, "What the hell is wrong with you?"
Near Dark is one of the best vampire movies ever made. I will fight people on this.
It's up there. I mean, it's Let the Right One In is still better, but Near Dark is up there. Near Dark has a phenomenal score too.
It does. It really does. But no Buffy reference. So that's the one negative point. That's why.
Is that why it's only a 9 out of 10?
Yeah, that's why it's not a 10. And there's a perfect place for it. I can't say because it's full on spoilers, but there's a perfect moment right at the end where just the words "watch Buffy" could have been added to something, and it would have made the whole thing perfect. It'd have been perfect. Anyway, so NBC is looking to explore the complicated relationship between journalism and Washington politics with
NBC cannot handle this.
The Hill. It's called The Hill.
Yeah, I mean, that's a fine title.
Writer, executive producer Paul Grelong, who worked on Hawaii Five-0, executive producer Josh Berman, who did Drop Dead Diva. Oh, excellent caliber here. So, where are we? The Hill is described as a high-stakes character drama that lives at the supercharged intersection of media and Capitol Hill, where everything is transacted. Information, sex, love, fame, and power. The series focuses on the gifted, flawed, and fascinating people who make this world home.
That sounded terrible.
It does, yeah.
And I like politics and media and that relationship. I'm interested in that. I'm not interested in an NBC network show of that because that description summed up exactly why, to be honest.
All right. ABC has put a pilot commitment on Plastics, a drama from the Fix co-creators Elizabeth Craft and Sarah Fain. McGee's Wonderland Sound and Vision are also producing. Plastics is set in the competitive and male-dominated world of plastic surgery, where 3 women band together to start their own practice. Having put it all on the line to get to this point, they rely on one another to survive the complicated, exhilarating, and sometimes heartbreaking world of plastic surgery, all while trying to navigate their own complicated personal lives.
Oh, they're just knocking them out this week.
Oh, dear.
Man, I'm glad I use a cheap whiskey for this.
Yeah, no interest whatsoever.
This is the stunt whiskey. Yeah,
it's the stunt whiskey. Very good. Yeah. I'm gonna have to swap that out with some absinthe without you realizing it.
I mean, you can try. Probably still drink it. Let's be honest.
If you take a swig of it and I've swapped it with absinthe, you don't notice. That means you've truly and utterly killed your body.
Taste buds,
Yeah.
everything. Yeah, I might notice, but I might still go back for the second swig on the next one.
So Fox is looking to keep Empire star Nicole Ari Parker on their screens with a new show. The network has given a script commitment with penalty to Opus, a one-hour family music drama starring and executive produced by Empire's Parker, from writer Felicia D. Henderson, who worked on Empire, and producer Daryl Taja and Empire Studio. So, written by Henderson, Opus is a classical and urban music will clash when Willie Mae Gray, played by Parker, Europe's most celebrated and only African-American conductor, suddenly returns to Baltimore to reinvent her hometown's crumbling symphony orchestra, while attempting to rebuild the relationship with her teenage son and underground MC on the rise. I think that's personal and professional. Because she says she's going to work on the orchestra and then says, well, attempted to rebuild a relationship with her son.
Yeah.
That's professional and personal right there.
Yeah, it is.
Well, Fox have got another show here. Let's see if they make you do it again.
Can we get 3 in a row?
Fox has given a script commitment with penalty to an untitled country music family dynasty drama. That's a lot of words.
I almost want to drink based on that alone.
Untitled country music family dynasty drama. That's a lot of words. From writer Melissa London Hilfers and Jason Owens Sandbox Entertainment. Written by Hilfers, the untitled country music dynasty drama. They said it all again.
They didn't say family that time, though, did
they took out family, but still, 4 words. 4 words is a lot for your genre.
It is.
Inspired by one of the most fascinating family dynasties in history, is described as an epic, multi-generational musical drama about America's first family of country music. I hate the sound of this already. The Romans divide their time between Austin, where their home is, and Nashville, where the business is.
Fuckers. Couldn't even give me one sentence.
Drink up, come on. Personal and professional.
Stop laughing before I do.
They got that so quickly as well. I love it. They're passionate and they're fiercely talented. They're passionate and they're fiercely talented. But while their name is synonymous with heartfelt honesty, the very foundation of this family success is a lie. When dangerous truths bubble to the surface, the Romans' reign as country royalty is put in jeopardy, leading to more lies, betrayal, and murder.
All right then, whatever.
There's murder. All right, Fox, I've got another one. Let's see if we can go 4 in a row.
Oh, please give me a break, Fox. I need one story with that one.
Fox has put in development Troubleshooter, a one-hour family soap from writer Sherry Elwood, who worked on Lucifer and Cedar Park Entertainment's Chris Long.
See, the concern now is not if there's a family element, but is there a professional element?
And David Ayer, anyone. Written by Elwood, Troubleshooter is described as a high-octane, offbeat family soap about a decorated soldier, wife, and mother. Denny Vasquez, overcoming scandal and under investigation. Denny is resigned to a remote military base with her husband and teenage kids, where she discovers life on a secluded post is just as lawless as life behind enemy lines. I think you get away with that one.
I don't think there's enough there.
Yeah, I think you get away with it. All right.
I mean, it sounded generic and
boring. Yeah, not for me, but yeah. All right. What's this next article here that we've got for you? I mean, we're on the CBS shows. I'll warn you that right now. So apparently, a competitive situation. Apparently, we have CBS landing an action drama called The International, which actually has Sylvester Stallone and Dolph Lundgren on board in some capacity.
On a CBS show.
So here we go. So it's going to be starring and produced by Lundgren, and directed and executive produced by Stallone. Although presumably just a pilot, I imagine.
I would have thought so.
He's a busy man. But hey, that's a pair of names to get for your action TV show.
We'll definitely be checking this out.
Just based
on those names.
Yeah, on those two. Yeah. Come on, Dolph Lundgren's the star of it. Yeah, I'm watching that. I'm at least trying.
That's how you make us watch a CBS show.
Yeah, written by drama veteran. That's a weird phrase. Ken Sanzel, who worked on Reef Break and Numbers. I love how it's a drama veteran.
Don't
and then,
know what either of those things are.
Then both examples I've never heard of. The International centers on Anders Soto, played by Lundgren, part negotiator, part international spy. Anders is a one-man covert black ops team working for the UN who is called in to find asymmetrical solutions to the world's most delicate and complex problems. I love Dolph Lundgren doing this.
Yeah, me too.
Okay. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm
50% more excited if this was anywhere but CBS.
Yeah, but I can't. But I mean, we're still going to check it out because Lundgren's on a TV show.
Yeah.
CBS have put in development Drift, a drama from Blacklist writer Christopher Salmanpour. Maybe it's salmon. It's not spelled like salmon, but it sort of looks like it might have the same kind of rules as salmon as a word.
How's it spelled?
Salman and then Pour.
Yeah, I'd go with salmon.
You go with Salmanpour? Okay.
Yeah.
Or Salmanpour, maybe. Who worked on The Promise. Executive produced by Anna Frick, who worked on Valor, Craig Turk, who worked on The Code and The Good Wife, and Dan Lin, who worked on Lethal Weapon. A lot of names there. Drift, after the disappearance of her wife on a scuba trip, a renowned and fearless oceanographer forms the unorthodox but highly skilled team of specialists who take on the unique challenge of solving crimes committed at sea where evidence and clues are as fickle as the tides, devoting themselves to bringing closure to victims who rarely get it.
Do you know what this is?
CSI Ocean?
No. It's civilian NCIS.
Okay, sure, yeah. Not civilian. It's private investigator NCIS.
Yeah. I mean, that sounds like a CBS show.
All right, final item of the week. CBS has put in development Soul Survivor, an hour-long drama with a supernatural element from NCIS New Orleans AP and showrunner Christopher Silber. Ben Winston and James Corden's Fulwell 73. In Soul Survivor, after a private investigator with a shady past is the lone survivor of a plane crash, his new lease on life is complicated by the fact that his seatmate, a dogged former DA and perennially optimistic do-gooder, becomes his de facto partner, pushing him to take on clients with no one else to turn. To further complicate matters, she's dead. I mean, that was kind of implied, given that he's a sole survivor. But so to complicate matters, she's dead. A ghost that can only he can see, and who is always by his side.
Are we sure this is on CBS and not Fox?
It's a buddy cop story, but one is a ghost.
I feel like Fox tried that.
They probably did.
I mean, I don't know that they did, but they must have.
They probably did. It sounds like a Fox thing to try. Yeah, that's what it is.
I can't believe I drank more for Fox than I did for CBS.
Yeah, you got two on Fox, and I think one was on ABC, if I remember right. But it was 3 in a row. So yeah, that's basically the news. This is the part of the show where we'll just tell you sort of some updates and what's coming up and what's been coming up and so on. Raising Dion just started on Netflix. Our pilot review of that will already be up by the time this goes up. And we are at least doing episode 2. Hopefully later tonight by the time this goes up, so hopefully you're into that or you're curious about that. You can go check out that review. We actually, in terms of other new stuff, it's really only been the deuce this week. We are looking at other things. We are going to get back to 3%, although that will be an audio only show. We're going to look at starting to try and fit that in the next couple of weeks. We did do episode 1 already, of course, but we'll be continuing season 3 of that because after all, it's sponsored by one of our patrons, so we do want to finish it. So that's that. But coming up in the next week,
big week.
We got Nancy Drew on the CW. We got the Breaking Bad movie, which we're kind of mentioning here because it's more TV related than it is movie related. So that's coming. And then the other thing we have to talk about, of course, is the Return of Mr. Robot, which is airing on Sunday night. We'll have a review sometime up on Monday, probably late on Monday, at least.
But we are excited.
We are. And then the other thing that's starting is Batwoman, also on Sunday. And this is an interesting one because I have been debating with myself to how to cover these CW shows, if at all, because we stopped TV for the multiverse, and that was because we had to free up the schedule for what me and Connor could do as a pair, and it's not coming back. Like, we're not getting TV multiverse back. That's just it's gone. But I still kind of planned on watching at least most of the shows, and I considered where to talk about them. Do I talk about them on the comics podcast a little bit and just make it a little sort of footnote? Do I actually try and cover them properly on my own as some sort of set of reviews, maybe in 2 parts every week? The honest answer is that even though we are, mere days away,
we are 2 days away from the start of the season.
By the time you see this, it'll be less than 2 days.
Yeah.
And I've still not decided, but I feel there'll definitely be a Batwoman review of some sort at the very least, but
it'll be either Pete or maybe both. We don't know yet.
Yeah, but I'm feeling lately that I'm going to want to watch them, and therefore there'll probably be something of some kind. That's my promise to you right now. There'll be something of some kind about a DC shows.
Might be just an audio thing.
Maybe we'll see. I mean, at the very least, I'll maybe try it on YouTube and see how it does. See if people care. But yeah, so that's the plan right now. The plan right now is that there's really no plan, but I'm still considering options, and there'll probably be something on Monday or maybe even late Sunday, if depending on what my schedule's
One
like.
way or another, that one will get a review.
Yes.
It's in what form and whether anything else does will be what's up for debate right now.
I think what's keeping me going here, the reason why I might commit to doing it is because I really want to talk about Crisis when Crisis happens.
Yeah, I know. It's frustrating, isn't it? Because
so because of that,
I need to watch Crisis after every bit of news that's come out. It's like, God damn it, I need to watch Crisis.
So because of that, I'll probably do something. I don't know what it'll be yet, but I'll do something. But hey, so that is been the news. That's been this week's TV news. So let us know what you think in the comments below via the news items that's happened. Give us your opinions on the DC TV shows from the CW and how you'd like them to be approached, given what we've said. And you can, of course, subscribe. You can rate the audio podcast on your podcast app. Yeah, Apple Podcast, give us 5 stars, helps more people find us. If you are subscribing on YouTube, also consider dinging the bell to make sure you get notifications, because YouTube likes to not give out notifications to everyone if you post more than a video per day, and given the content we put out, we typically do post more than that. Sometimes we do 3 a day, depending on what's happening, especially right now with the Octoberthon. There's a horror movie review going up every day, so that's inflating the numbers a little bit.
Yeah. But YouTube's algorithms are all just terrible, so you should just turn that on so you get everything and don't miss anything.
But so do that. Get us on Patreon, like we mentioned earlier, patreon.com/MailFuzzTV, and also make sure you get us on Twitter at mailed_fuzz for updates and things like that. But that is us. So thank you once again for watching or listening. We always appreciate it. Keep watching TV, guys. Have you got any vanilla?